Hello Degens, we are back to raw unedited knowledge, and if you're here for it and you don't mind about dopamine shots, then stay with me and I will reveal you the algorithmic tricks for the current token launch meta. Okay, in this video we're gonna cover 1. Backrunning algorithms, 0. Token launch meta, how bubble maps affects token launching, and 2. Volume bots. Let's start with point 0, the launch meta, and let's see what's different with this launch meta. You see bubble maps. This used to be the version of bubble maps and everything is disconnected, but they included this new magic button. Oh, good job, these ones are doing a good job. They're using a good method to obfuscate everything. So let's go to one coin, like probably this one. See, this wallet theoretically doesn't have any supply, but it's the one that connects every other wallet. And before relay wallets, this is called a relay wallet, just a bridge from one wallet to another. It wouldn't show up in the bubble maps, but now it does. So let's start from the beginning. Point 0, a bundler would be a wallet that bought all the tokens and then it distributed among all the wallets that hold. Okay, and then bubble maps was created. So instead of doing that, a bundler would first hold Solana and then distribute to another wallet that would distribute to another wallet that bought, and this would happen again many times. Now the problem is that these relay wallets now are detected by bubble maps, so we are in the V3 meta of bundling. This wallet, the first wallet, is, let's call it a path. Okay, so all the paths have to be separate. Now this wallet has to be funded from elsewhere. Okay, and it has to be undetected. There's some methods, and then this is the same, then relay wallet, and then this wallet buys. So this is the part that is missing, and this part involves funding wallets through either Houdini swap, which has private transactions, or through a combination of SEX, bridges, Houdini swap, and when I say bridges I might talk about wormhole, for example, and then the trick goes like that. It's the same. This is how we avoid getting clustered in bubble maps, and then I also want to cover that there's many players trying to fuck up with you. Let's go up here. So there's many players trying to fuck up with us. If we launch a token on pump.fun, there's gonna be snipers that are gonna instantly put the price up. So all we need to do is wait till these snipers sell, and then we buy. That's the whole trick for avoiding getting sniped. That's the whole trick. Another possibility that may happen is that between these buys, because we're buying from 100 wallets, there will be people that buy between here, and these are bots optimized to buy after these bundles with fast RPCs. So what we need to do to avoid this is use Jito. Jito can batch many transactions, maximum 20 in one block. and this allows us to bundle 20 different wallet buys into one block, and this way there is no gap between here. Okay, there's no gap, so we can cover this all of a sudden, and in any case someone can buy here. So what if we want a better distribution? Because 20 wallets times, maybe we want to buy, we are aiming for less than 2% per wallet, right? And ideally when we bundle, we want at least a 50% of the supply, maybe. So maybe we can get away with just having 40 or 30, but if someone buys here right after our bundle, we will just sell on them, okay, because we want to bundle again. So it's the same method as this, but here we're making lots of profit. This is why there's so many instant rug pulls. If we go to, I don't know, GMGN, new pair, yeah, there's so many instant rug pulls that do a first bundle. Well, this is not a bundle, this is just a rug pull designed to make little profits, but maybe we go here, bundle, someone buys and it sells. So ideally we want to bundle right after a bundle, do it at least 3 times, and as soon as we can do it 3 times, we can have 70% of the supply without being detected by bubble maps and keeping less than 2% in each wallet. Here we can start our next stage. Let's remember the first stage is ensuring that we cannot lose. Okay, this is the first stage, safety. This is the first step, risk management. The second step are backrunning algorithms. So here is when we start our other algorithms. So I'll show you what I've been working on. So before, there used to be sandwich bots when the public MEF pool is open. Now they are private pools that still have MEF bots, but they are not so active anymore. So we would scan this MEF pool for transactions, and if we detect someone was doing a large buy, we would buy right before them and then sell right after them, which would give us like a 0.2% profit, something like that, or maybe even more. Now for me, I think the future for Solana is backrunning. Backrunning means doing things right after a transaction happens. What happens if we have 70% of the supply? Let's show you some graph. Do you see this is a backrunning algorithm, and it performed quite well. What happens if we have 70% of the supply? Let's do a very simple example. Someone buys. What we're gonna do, if someone buys 1 sol, we are gonna sell 1 sol. Okay, so if someone buys here, we're gonna sell here. So let's someone buys here, we sell the same amount here. This person is in a 1% loss. He gets sad and he then sells at a loss of 1%, and then we buy. So the chart is at the same point, but our treasury has grown. Our treasury has grown. Why are we able to do this? Because this is front running, but we're not front running in the same block. We are front running here by buying all the supply before. So we are able to sell right after a buy because we've already bought right here, way before, in the very bottom we bought. So therefore we are allowed to do this. And this can get more funny, and we can modify the ratios. Sometime if someone buys, we don't want to sell all of it because we want to force an uptrend. Or sometimes when we want to exit, when we are very high up in the chart, when someone buys, we want to sell more than them. Or when someone sells, we want to buy very little. And this is how we force the price movements. We don't want to force the price movements with big candles. We don't want to do that because it looks fake. All it matters in this meta is organic, entre comillas. So yeah, this can get much more interesting, honestly. Sometimes we can make these parameters, the percentage of buy to sell, we can make them variable based on Telegram activity, based on the Bitcoin price movement. So we are correlated with Bitcoin. Then this is mainly if we want a long-term project, then these percentages must have some rules. We cannot just do it manually for ragging. Honestly, we have to have some rules for this that make sense. Okay, and then finally we're gonna cover volume bots. I'll show you visually. This is a bad volume bot. Why? Less buyers than sellers, less buy volume than sell volume, and here a bit more buys than sells. This is a very bad volume. Let's put an example of a coin that I'm doing right now. For example, this one. Do you see the buy to sell ratios? Yes. So it's important that the data looks good and that the volume bot, whenever there's an uptrend, makes more volume than whenever there's a downtrend. Because even if there's many sellers, if we are always producing most of the volume, we decide what's the trend of this chart. This chart is fully under our control, always. And that's the goal of the volume bot, not only to fake these metrics, but also to fake this chart. These are the two purposes of the volume bot. And yes, well, why do we want to fake all of this data? Because now the meta is not only about having a nice looking data, it's also about getting the eyeballs. This is very important because this doesn't matter if there's no people looking at our chart. There's no people looking at our chart. So we need to talk about black hat marketing. And I would like to cover this, but I'm gonna wait till this video has some support. I'm comfortable with 100 likes, and in the next video I'll cover all of the black hat marketing stack that works, that is cost effective, that will bring you profits, and how can, probably the third video or maybe in the next video, I will explain you what's the best way to exit your position. Sometimes you're gonna make more profits from a slow rag rather than an instant dump because of how an AMM pool works. And this is very important because this is when you're realizing the profits. Okay, so if you like this video, let's try to reach 100 likes and I will make the second one. Thank you very much.